Hi everybody, it's the end of the year. I wanted to wish everybody a happy almost summer and to tell you that I love you, I miss you. We've come so very far in these challenging times, and you should all just give yourselves a nice pat on the back for all the good work that you've been doing and for staying positive, I hope. And yeah, I just miss you and I can't wait to be with you again. Fingers crossed in September, I want to be with you. I want to make art with you again. Okay. And I also want to give one last plug for our virtual art show. It's still up. I will continue to put artwork up until I get it through the end of the week. Through Friday, I will still put work up. And if you email me more work even after Friday, I'll still put it up because I would love to see everybody's pieces. And the site is, and I'll link it. I've linked it a bunch of times, but it's my name S and then Fendelman FendelmanFendelman.wixsite.com. I think it's a backward slash website, WEBSITE, but I'll link it also. Okay. And what I wanted to do for my last video was just take a few minutes to quickly go over and show you a lot of the artwork, not all of the artwork that I've done, but a lot of the artwork that I've done during this time of COVID-19. Okay, and I'm showing you this in case you guys wanted to keep creating throughout the summer. Okay, and in case you also needed some more inspiration. This was all work that I assigned during distance learning. And I have lesson plans for all of it, and in most cases videos for all of it to accompany each piece. So reach out if you don't have access to that or you forget how to access that. Just let me know, okay? And these were the first pieces I started, which you've all, like I think I said you've all seen, which were the thank you artworks, okay? And as you can see, it was the very first piece because I was still, we weren't socially distancing yet. So that's why I did the elbow bump there. Okay. And these were just like the thank you artworks, the appreciation artworks. And these kind of morphed over time into special occasion artworks and celebratory pieces. If someone was having a big life event or a birthday, or someone was having a baby. Remember this one I made for my friends? Okay. I would just make them and then I would snap a pic and I would send it to them. In fact, I'm still doing these all the time. Okay. This is one that I made for essential workers. I'd hung this on my apartment door for a really, really long time. And in fact, I just took it down now just so I could show everybody here. Okay. And I made one for my mailman. I made one for a very kind neighbor who delivered toilet paper to us that she got at Costco. She gave us 6 rolls. And I've kept doing it, right? Okay, this was for my sister's birthday I made. And I did one for Mother's Day. You'll see one that I'm gonna show you that I did for Father's Day. Okay. And I think this would be a great ongoing project. I'm going to keep doing this project throughout the summer, and I hope beyond. I hope it's just something I just keep doing in my life. Because like for me, this is something that will just brighten someone's day when they get it. And it's easy to do it and take a picture of it and send it. It's not something you have to send in the mail. It's not something you have to hand over to someone. It's just something lovely that you can do for somebody else. Okay. Next we have abstract art. Okay. And this is always fun because you don't have to concern yourself so much with the outcome of these pieces. Abstract is really just about letting it flow. It's really the best and most free way, in my opinion, to make art sometimes, not having to worry so much about what the end result is going to be. Okay. Abstract art is about what's called the process being the making of the piece. Okay. You really have to be, it allows us to be in the moment, enjoy that act of making lines and shapes and color if you have access to it. And a lot of these I made with my 4-year-old. Okay. which was a good test of my patience and a good way to remind me again to let go a bit when making art. Okay, it doesn't always have to be serious, and it doesn't always have to turn out a certain way. Okay, we don't have to put that pressure on ourselves, especially with art. Okay, art is like, if it's making you crazy, take a step back, right? If it's making you if you're not able to get the results that you want, try to figure out a different way to go about doing it. Okay, this was another one where, yes, it's abstract, but I wanted to add one element of shape, which was the heart. So as you can see, my son did a lot of the inside and the outside, and then I colored in the background behind the heart. And this is a big one. I put this one in my window too. Okay. Next, I just revisited a favorite topic of mine, which combines patterns and the subject of birds. Just two things that have always interested me visually and that I use a lot in my artwork. So if you're interested in something like this, here I would kind of challenge you to think about what you like or enjoy, or what you can draw easily, or what just makes you happy, and create that. Some of you already do that all of the time, and you know what it is that you like and what makes you happy, but it's just another option as far as something to draw or paint. Again, if you have access to paint, okay? Next one is something that you all have done, kindergarten through 8th grade, and that's to create a self-portrait, okay? Obviously, mine is very timely because I've included the mask that I wear, my quarantine mask. And I'm always inspired by Frida Kahlo when I create self-portraits. It's hard for me not to think of her when I create one, not only because she's one of my favorite artists, but because she's the queen of self-portrait making. She made over 50 self-portraits during her lifetime. And I also chose to create it in black and white and gray tones using only pencil. Okay, this is to kind of show you guys and to sort of challenge myself, but to show you what can be done just using a pencil, okay? And how much value, a very important element of art, you can attain in a work of art, okay? There's not only light, medium, and dark tones when drawing. Adjust your pencil pressure. Obviously, press harder for darker tones, lighter for lighter tones. And you can always use your finger to smudge, okay, or blend the pencil. Some people prefer like a Q-tip, or there's special smudge sticks that artists use, or tissues. I like to use my fingers. I feel like it's just a tool I always have available, okay? And speaking of portraits, here's another one, not a self-portrait, obviously, I hope, obviously, but this is a blind line contour drawing portrait. Again, blind line means to create a work of art, looking at something in front of you and drawing a continuous line and never looking down at your paper, okay? So kind of the opposite of what we always do, okay? A great way to train your eyes to focus on the contour lines, and again, while you're creating, you are never looking at your paper. And this is a favorite technique of mine because the work can come out looking quite interesting, actually. And like abstract art, you don't have to worry or be self-conscious regarding the outcome, okay? It's the end results are supposed to be silly. They're supposed to be kind of ridiculous because you're not looking at your paper, okay? And I did a lot of these when I had Zoom workshops with you guys. So some of these you'll recognize yourself in here. You know who you are, I think. This is, I'm not going to show you all of them I did, but this is the last one. So if you can pick yourself out of these, bravo, because, you know, they're wild looking, they're crazy looking. And here's a still life I did in blind line. And still lives are good too because they're still, they're never moving, and you can really focus on those contour lines that you're drawing, okay? And speaking of still lives, here's one I did similar to my self-portrait, using only pencil and really focusing on the shading, the gradation, and that value again, okay? So like I said, this one is obviously not blind line. I really tried to create the objects exactly as I saw them. And this one I'm still kind of working on. And again, I'm using my finger to smudge, and I'm also using eraser in here to really highlight and show where light is hitting those objects. Okay, here's a one I started. I thought I'd show you. I included a hand because hands are extremely challenging and difficult for me. So I wanted to challenge myself, which also happens to be why it's not finished yet, because it's very challenging. Okay, next we have all of the artwork inspired by Wayne Thiebaud, dessert artwork. Simple donut still life. Very simple, but made me very happy to make it because I was craving those yummy donuts. Here's another one. Just kind of fun treats and sweets, and just adding some other kind of fun little, I don't know what, luggage elements or striped, I don't know, boxes, something. But just the black and white juxtaposed with the background and the foreground and the color of the yummy cupcakes, okay? And here's another one inspired by Wayne Thiebaud. This was kind of a lesson within a lesson where you could elaborate on the dessert theme and create a tiered layer cake. So I did that here. And then I kind of realized my color scheme that the the icing looked like fire. But, you know, sometimes hindsight, right? Oh, and here's another, like, one of those special occasion artworks coming up for Father's Day, which happens to be on my birthday this year. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. And this was my quarantine take on pop art. Pop short for popular, okay? I'd asked students to take an object that was currently very popular in their households, as opposed to being popular within the country or the world around, okay? And to create a pop art inspired composition. So I have two young sons, and right now this excavator toy is extremely popular, so that's what I chose to draw. And then I used elements of pop art like Lichtenstein used in his pop art creations, like all the little dots in the foreground and in the background. I also was thinking of Andy Warhol while bringing in like bright and bold colors within the piece. And that's that one, yep. And here's a work of art I created influenced by a book that I read about the artist Horace Pippin. It's called A Splash of Red, The Life and Art of Horace Pippin. And it features, there's an artwork that features a scene like this. Horace is painting inside, his face is angled away from the viewer, and you can see a view of the outside through the window. You can see some of his supplies next to him. So what I did was I asked students to create their own spaces and canvases, and on the canvas you could create a place that you would like to be right now, okay, since we are not able to be places that we want to be right now. So this is mine, and I made the beach scene on my canvas. Okay, and I did it like a little non-traditional. It's not like a traditional beach scene because I wanted it to be a little bit like fantasy-like, so that's what I did. Okay, and then I did the inside of my apartment with my art supplies, my plants, my paintings, and then my canvas of dreaming what's to come, okay? And then I started another work kind of inspired by that. It's not finished, as you can see. And I was continuing to think about quarantine, and I wanted to use symbols within my work instead of real things. So the cat symbolizes me or anybody stuck inside, okay, really, all of us. And then the birds outside symbolize the things that the cat wants but cannot get, or represents things that I or we miss about being able to go out, okay? For example, like going out to eat, meeting with friends, going to the park, the movies, all of that kind of stuff. And then I've put the clock in the corner. Obviously, clocks always represent time, and this time going rather slowly. So that's the one I'm working on and have to finish. Lastly, I assigned the upper grades a lesson about protest art, and this is the one that I made. I used pencil to create his portrait. Again, focusing on gradation and shading to create that important value that you see. Okay, and in the background, here, and above, all pencil. And then I chose to add only one additional color, obviously, besides black and white, which is red. And red can symbolize a lot of things. It can symbolize anger. It definitely symbolizes anger. It can symbolize bloodshed. So I think that is pretty straightforward. So I did that as my final piece of the year. And then I thought it was really important. My oldest son is 4, but I wanted to make some protest artwork with him as well. So what I did here was I helped him, and I needed to make it simple, like I said, because he's little. So I created the outline of the heart for him and the peace symbol. And then within the heart, he was practicing using his ruler, trying to make straight lines. And then I talked to him about coloring in the spaces in between the lines with all different skin colors to represent different people. So that's what we did, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed sort of seeing all of the work that I've created during this time. And like I said, many of you have seen it before, but if you'd like, again, links to the videos or lesson plans or anything like that, just let me know, okay? And please try and keep making over the summer. You guys have been really inspiring. You guys have sent me some amazing things, and not just artwork. I've seen music. I've read things you've written. You guys are amazing. So if visual art is not your favorite #1 thing to do, write, bake, dance, do all of these things that are also artwork. And whatever it is that you might be interested in that gets you creating, do it, okay? I love and miss you all. I'm here for you whenever you need me. And happy summer, okay? Love you. Ciao.